when Chewbacca single-handedly defeated a bar full of smugglers and outlaws. Droids and Wookiees don't tend to work together. In fact, it's a rare occurrence to even see them together. So when the unlikely team of Chewbacca, legendary Wookiee warrior turned rebel, and C-3PO, the ever-reliable, if oftentimes opinionated protocol droid, were seen questioning patrons at dive bars and cantinas about the whereabouts of their friend Luke Skywalker, alarm bells were no doubt rung. And the ringers of those bells were certainly not new friends of the intrepid adventurers. Before things escalated, perhaps prematurely, at least one of the team would provide protection. This story begins a few weeks after the destruction of the first Death Star. Luke Skywalker decided he would sneak onto the Imperial-controlled planet of Coruscant to visit the remains of that planet's ancient Jedi temple. In order to get there, he would need an expert smuggler, and since Han likely wouldn't help him with such a suicidal mission, Luke traveled to Nar Shaddaa, the Hutt homeworld in the Outer Rim, to find someone who would, and it was there that he went missing. Chewie and C-3PO would soon come searching for their Jedi friend. The pair started by visiting the local watering holes. Though perhaps his mechanical construction meant he couldn't help it, C-3PO certainly looked like a deer in the headlights as he addressed the dingy, dimly lit dive bar. Crawling with smugglers, outlaws, and mercenaries, it was territory unfamiliar to the droid. His counterpart, Chewbacca, stood imposingly near him, towering above every other patron with a conquering 8 feet. 3PO cautiously stated that they needed to be pointed in the direction of Gracchus the Hutt, Luke's supposed captor on the planet Nar Shaddaa. However, he also mentioned that as Chewbacca had disabled the informers, it may not be accurate, something the barman took as a threat. These locals were known for their hatred of droids, so as 3PO tried to talk his way out of a brewing altercation, Chewie lost his patience. With a classic Wookiee growl, he extended his matty, hairy arms to pull the droid away from the bar, and suddenly, the once disinterested and imposing bar patrons were now paying full attention. It turns out Chewbacca's growl was more of an order than random noise. As 3PO translated, he wished to inform the various smugglers and outlaws to finish their drinks and leave.
Chewbacca says anyone who doesn't wish to be physically inconvenienced should perhaps find another establishment in which to consume their beverages, and they should do so within some haste.
Perhaps less threatening through the robotic, polite vernacular of the protocol droid, the words didn't exactly lead to immediate action. Rather, they responded by staring right back at the duo. Just as things seemed to come to a stalemate, the Wookiee's patience was tested even further. Suddenly, maybe to set an example, he sent one of the various criminals flying through the window, letting all the guests know exactly who was boss. Once the brawl had somehow moved out on the roof, the once cocky barman now certainly knew who was in charge. Amidst the dirty orange sky, hovering pieces of junk and decrepit high-rise buildings, C-3PO looked on in shock. Well, as much as he could being a protocol droid, as Chewie casually held the barman's foot over the ledge, dangling him before the great height. However, despite being out of his comfort zone, 3PO was starting to adapt well to his newfound purpose as the Wookiee's sidekick. He advised the barman to tell his friend what they needed to know to prevent any further or permanent injury.
I really would tell him what he wants to know. He's quite unreasonable when he's like this.
The drink pourer finally cracked. Arms flailing, apron falling, he confirmed Gracchus had Luke and that he was being held at the arena not too far from where they were. But that wasn't enough to free him. Chewbacca now sported an ironically comforting grin as 3PO looked out for the arena where the barman had said. He couldn't see it, and considering a protocol droid's precision, that usually meant it wasn't true. Just as Chewie threatened to loosen his grip, the now petrified barman screamed further direction. "It's just past the sky slums! To the east! East!" Suddenly, a dark change in tone occurred. The barman, still suspended above the faraway city streets, taunted the Wookiee with the death of Luke, and theirs if they tried to rescue him. "Your friend's gonna die in the Hutt's arena. If you hurry, maybe you can die right along with him." Chewie had enough. He let go of the bartender's ankle and let him drop to the street below. As 3PO obliviously continued to look for the arena over the sky slums, a blood-curdling shout could be heard, and Chewie casually walked away from the roof's ledge. It quickly became apparent that the barman was not the only bar patron to have faced the unlikely duo on the roof. While the protocol droid questioned the Wookiee as to what happened to the barman, they cleared a path through the numerous bodies laying on the floor of the roof, strewn out with their weapons broken and tossed. Luckily for the barman, a passing garbage freighter gave him a smooth landing. He would live to see another day. Whether this was planned by Chewbacca was unknown. Either way, his no-talking, straight-to-fighting style of interrogation was clearly effective and paid off. The unlikely Rebel Alliance duo started to set off on their quest to rescue their friend. Chewie's path of destruction demonstrated Wookiee's sheer power. In any context, at his primitive home planet of Kashyyk or in the Outer Rim territories in service of the Rebel Alliance, he could be a formidable ally and adapt well to new surroundings. In fact, he had always been known as an accomplished fighter. Aside from being one of the pilots to take down one of the galaxy's biggest weapons, the Death Star, he was a qualified warrior on his homeworld, being an instrumental lieutenant in the Battle of Kashyyk during the Clone Wars. He was also incredibly technically competent, a delicate profession. It always seems hard to believe that he could build intricate machinery during battle and resourcefully head into any situation compared to his no-holds-barred fighting style. But if this bar fight had proven anything, it was that if he believed in a cause and had a mission, he would do anything he could to rid the evil standing in the way. As Han Solo's co-pilot, he was a true and loyal friend of the Smuggler and the rebellion at large. As well as a loyal companion, Chewbacca was also someone you wouldn't want on your bad side. The fact that he could work with such a prudish droid such as 3PO showed his compassion. For the bar patrons, there were precious little other ways for their fate to go at the hands of the Wookiee. Chewie recognized that there was no point to change their minds, and he was right.